All right. Now, I think it's time we sat down and had a serious discussion about the unwritten mandatory rules on the internet. Some of these are going to cross over into your real life rules. Some of these are going to be the same exact rules that you've heard in real life. But we're going to show you, we're going to break down not only the principles that you should be following, we're going to break down some of what happens if you don't. We're also going to break down some consequences positively, usually benefits of what happens when you do. So first things first, the reason I'm doing this is I had a guy message me this morning and he asked me for $20 for me to be thrown in a playlist. And I'm like, dude, all you're doing is pressing a button on a screen. You want $20 for that? I don't see the worth there. I'm like, I press buttons on a screen all day. I don't get paid for it. So, get like me. Get like me. He claimed it was a generous offer. I said, I ain't ever heard of somebody asking for money and then telling me it was a generous offer. I've never had someone tell me it was a generous offer. That's crazy. I mean, that's like killing somebody and saying, hey, I did it to save the people. You didn't? That's like calling someone the hard R N-word to end racism. What the fuck? So, I'm also going to provide some analogies too here today to let you feel how stupid this sounds on paper. Because once we can perfect shit on paper, then all the bigger shit will start to fall in place. Everybody's wondering where the direction is headed for this country, and I'm here to provide that. First and most important rule: treat others how you want to be treated. If you're one of those people who are like, man, I would want to be able to living through hard work and dedication, then make sure you're giving credit where others put in hard work and dedication. Because your time and you give the hard work and dedication, you've went and treated others how you want to be treated. So here's how you want to be treated. Let's say you're a disagreeable person. You have a lot of opinions that don't really match up what the public wants you to think. I'll tell you what you wouldn't want to do. I'll tell you what you wouldn't want to do. You wouldn't want to start blocking people on the internet for having a disagreeable viewpoint. Because then when it comes your turn to say your disagreeable viewpoint, you're going to get blocked. And nobody's going to wonder why it happened. Nobody. Nobody's going to wonder why the fuck that happened. I understand this. And I've been trying to lead by example on this shit. Now, what's the positives of this? What's the positives of letting people say what the fuck they want without blocking them? There's many. Many. You break the liberal hive mind. You absolutely destroy the hive mind. The mindset where everybody thinks the same and everybody just listens to what somebody says. Never question anything. You break, destroy that. The second, and what I consider to be the most important reason, is you can have many people from different backgrounds with different viewpoints come together towards the same. And so you're going to get even farther with that. You wouldn't want that person to be left astray. You wouldn't want to be thrown out to the wolves. You would want that person to be part of the pack. So in treating people the way you want to be treated, if you have a disagreeable viewpoint, others for having that disagreeable viewpoint. You can't care about freedom of expression and silencing hate speech. That's like saying you want a lollipop without the stick. Some of the negative consequences of avoiding this. Someday you're going to have to stand up for yourself and say some controversial shit, and nobody's going to give you power for it. That power is going to be taken because you stood up for yourself, because of the way you treated other people for standing up for themselves. So someday when it happens and you need to come out and say the controversial thing because somebody, and you need to say this, for your own well-being, nobody's going to give a shit. Nobody's going to care because you didn't care when other people said the controversial thing. You just blocked them. So when everybody fucking blocks you after you say your controversial shit. That's the end of it. Your power's over with. You gave it up. You gave it up. Not me. So, address things in private. And if you can't come to a conclusion, an honest conclusion where both parties in private, that's when you go public with it. Again, I've led by example on this shit. If you want internet beef, you better first address it. Once you realize, all right, I've tried every other fucking option. I've tried all my options on the list. I tried addressing it in private. I tried calling up his mom and trying to get a hold of him. I tried mailing his. I tried, every fucking option in the book. The last one is go public about it. The very last option that you'll ever get to is to go public about it. It's crazy how I've met that one every time. It's crazy how I've met that option every single fucking time, and I haven't been able to just, them and come to the conclusion. That used to be how shit went, but that was also when I let people step all over me and get the benefit of me like greedy motherfuckers. Rule number 4. Actions speak louder than words. So I just told you this morning asking for $20 to throw me in a playlist, and he told me it was a generous offer. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, actions speak louder than words. You're wanting $20 telling me it's a generous offer. And then he's telling me he's got enough money. This $20 goes towards improving the playlist. I'm like, where's the fucking, you ain't been through any struggle? You don't need to put that $20 towards or something? What the fuck are you doing? You're sitting on your fucking yacht with a fucking beer in hand asking for $20? Fuck you. Normal life. Those aren't necessities. When I can't even get my necessities, but you can sit up on a $100,000 yacht asking me for $20. Bitch, hop off the cross. We need the wood. Hop off. We need the motherfucking wood. I don't give a shit about your yacht. And I don't give a shit about maintaining it with my money either. The people I lead are skilled. It's crazy. The people you lead need fucking paid $100 to get what the people I lead can get done for free. Their fucking job. This isn't fantasy. This can be seen in the results. I know some of you want to convince yourself so badly that this is all a fantasy. This is all not real. This is all just a Shrek, DreamWorks fairy tale. This is just the big bad dragon. Someone's going to come in and save us. But it's not. But it's not. You want to convince yourself that the fairy tale's so fucking bad. I mean, tell me you want to live in the fantasy without telling me you want to live in the fantasy. You have to convince yourself that everything I say is a fantasy. If it wasn't so fucking truthful, convince yourself it's a fantasy. You wouldn't have to convince me it's a fantasy. If it was honestly a fantasy, you wouldn't need to convince me. And if my shit was honestly a fantasy, I fucking results, analogies, or anything to back my shit off of. But I do. But I do. And that leads me on to rule number 5. If you're going to have an argument, make sure you refer to the fucking actions and results. If you're going to call someone a bitch, make sure you have actions and results to prove why they're a bitch. What'd they do? Steal money from you? Did they call you names for no reason? Did they do what I was saying and blocked you over your disagreeable viewpoint when you've been super tolerant of disagreeable viewpoints? Even the disagreeable viewpoints that hurt you, you've been tolerant of. You haven't went out of your way to block any of the people who speak them. So if they call you a bitch, and, you know, do with that what you will. Last but not least, rule. Well, I actually have 2 more rules left. Rule number 6. Differing viewpoint. Allow people to fucking call you names. Be tolerant of the name calling. Don't complain to the fucking Mark Zucker bitch that someone called you a bitch. A fuck. Nope. Even Mark Zuckerberg, he doesn't care. He just has his employees ban the people who say this shit because they're tired of hearing people all fucking day. They're tired of hearing people complaining. So I guess rule 6 can be 2 rules at once. Don't complain and let people let people say what the fuck they want about you. How you lead by example. That's how you give a fuck about freedom of expression. You want to show you give a fuck about freedom of expression? Like, is that what you want to show? Then show it. Then show it. All you got to do, and it's so simple, it's so ridiculous, it's so simple. All you got to do is not give a fuck what people say. And so you're probably wondering, what should I care about? How do I know if I should care or not? How do I know if they're just name calling or maybe they're actually trying to be real with me? Do they have evidence? Do they have your actions and results to stand on? See, if they're just calling you names, you didn't do anything wrong. If they're just calling you bitch, no reason to block them. Nothing's going on. Unless you block them, then you're doing something wrong. But let him call you a bitch. Up until the moment he's like, hey, you're because of this, that, and the other. And you're like, shit, I did do this, that, and the other. Then you're a bitch. You just need to accept it. I wouldn't dodge the bullet. I'd just eat it. You know what I mean? Because facing it, it's gonna cost you a lot less in the long run than ignoring it. No two-faced. Rule number 7. No two-face. So you've heard this before. I've said it so many fucking. Be the same person you are to somebody's face as you are behind their back. And stop fucking saying that you're one thing to their face and then going behind their back and then being a completely different fucking person. We don't have time for this shit. We don't have time. We don't have time to be playing fucking games. We don't have time to be super sensitive about what somebody said about you. This is business. We're here to do and improve the worth of each other's lives. We're here to put each other's fucking well-being and human welfare at the first priority, the forefront of our entire direction. So if you're not here for that, if you're not on the internet for that, if that isn't what you're using the internet for, as a fucking tool, not as an enslaving, fucking chain-holding, human minimizing entity. We're not is that anymore. It's over. It's all done, bro. It's all done. People say, Ben, you believe the shit you say. That's bad. Yeah, I do believe the shit I say. I've seen the results as a reason to believe it. I have plenty of a reason to believe the things I say. Now, if I was up here believing the things I said, and I had no fucking evidence, no wisdom, no experience to go off of to tell you that these are the things that happen when you do this, then maybe I'm a pathological liar. But that's not the case. I have all this experience to go off of, things that I've literally lived through or seen other people go through to tell you that, hey, this is how the world works. You either accept it or you don't. I'm waiting. It was a picture I saw on a community page for one of the towns I live near, and it says waiting for the liberal mob to take the hard RN word out of the word vinegar. And that's how fucking that's how tight the leash you folks. I never let the leash get that tight on me, because I led by example with a better way to show that I don't need the leash. I don't need the leash, bitch. I'm off the leash. I'm always off the leash. I'm unleashed 100% of the time. There is no leash on me. So, how do you show people you don't need the leash? By doing exactly what I said. When you name call, make sure there's results to stand on. When you do things, make sure you do it out of concern for human welfare. You know? Let people call you names. And be patient. People names and still get blocked even when you are leading by example, but be patient. We are the winning team. We are the ones leading by example. Don't be discouraged by this shit. Yeah, I've been blocked too by people who are just mad at my words. Do I block other people for being mad at their words? Of course not. I'm leading by example on this shit. I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm just going to be patient and wait my turn. Wait till they realize that I've been leading by example on the principles that they need. And they might not ever realize it in my lifetime. I might have to on to the next generation. But it is one that will inevitably win in the end. I might be here 1,000 years from now in a different body, same mindset. I are the one that wins. I might not be the one that gets to the end goal here. But I promise you, these philosophies will lead to the ones that get to the end goal. These philosophies goal. Heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. People say it's not possible. I say, don't challenge someone who's making it happen, bitch. Don't challenge them. When I block people, I've blocked a few people on the internet. What do I block people for? I block people when they do me wrong with the actions, the words. I usually block people because they stole money from me, because they fucked up opportunities for me because of their own stupid perception, because they think they're hot shit and they think they have control over shit that they don't. And they usually end up getting that control where it's undeserved. Blocked. You're done. I don't forward those actions to the final destination. You'll stay at square one, buddy. While everybody else moves, while everybody else gets better at what they do, while everybody else continues to improve the overall production value and consistency, you'll be stuck at square one and you're fucking with Cheez-Its in your hand wondering what the fuck went wrong, watching fucking 2008 South Park episodes, wondering where the f*** went of when you peaked. They're gone, bitch. So you can continue to pretend like you're on the top. On top of the world with your bag of Cheez-Its, watching 2008 South Park episodes in the comfort of your bed. You got fucking 30 rolls hanging down your... You don't see any fucking thing wrong with that. But somebody up here on the fucking internet that's not too cowardice to throw his face out there and his whole fucking address. That he can throw his fucking face and address out there and still stand tall. No earthly enemy will ever stop me.